Here with Michael Whitaker, an attorney at Coughlin and Gearhart. Now, Mike, I understand you wanted to discuss real estate in the realm of estate planning and potential options for people who own real estate.
Yes, that's correct. So for most people, the real estate that they own tends to be a large portion of their overall assets. So in respect to estate planning, you certainly need to give your real estate some consideration, and for some people, lots of consideration when they do their overall estate planning.
So what are some things to consider with respect to future planning?
Sure. One main thing to consider is if real estate is held in your name and your spouse is predeceased, and then you're deceased, your property would have to go through the probate process. One main thing to consider is to get that property out of your name, whether to your children or another entity, and that would help avoid the probate process.
Awesome. And what are some other things to consider?
Another thing to consider is if someone does not have long-term health care insurance, which is a separate policy from your regular day-to-day health care insurance, they should consider putting their marital residence or their primary residence in a Medicaid trust, which could help protect that property ultimately from Medicaid liens. The department reviews 5 years worth of financial records for each applicant, so therefore any transfer of property for no consideration, whether to your kids or to someone else within that 5-year period, would potentially cause a penalty period in the Medicaid process.
All right. And so what are some mechanisms people can use to avoid or protect from future Medicaid liens?
Sure. Some mechanisms are life estate deeds, transfer and death deeds, revocable trusts, irrevocable trust, LLCs. It's necessary to consider each person's situation to determine which one of those mechanisms would be best suited. But some of those things you need to consider are somebody's overall net worth, their life expectancy, how they want to distribute to their children, and property taxes as well. Each person's situation is different, so therefore it's best to speak with an attorney in order for them to recommend which mechanism would be best for their purposes.
And what about property that is not like a primary residence, like vacation homes, recreational land, or investment properties?
Sure. So any other real property that's not your primary residence also needs, specific. You need to look at that specifically outside the realm of your marital residence, and the best things for those are usually LLCs or trusts. The reason being is because those entities can create bylaws or other ways where you can determine how you want those properties to be allocated and set up any rules for those properties going forward.
So what is your advice for someone who is unsure about their options with respect to their real estate?
Sure. So first and foremost, it's always easier to deal with these types of issues before you pass rather than after you pass and have your family deal with it. So, from there, you should really talk to an attorney about which mechanism would be best suited for you and your needs. Everyone's situation is different, and the law allows for flexibility for your specific situation. So, I personally work out of the Cortland office, but we have several attorneys here at Coughlin and Gearhart throughout the state and throughout PA that can help you with that process and determine which mechanism is ultimately best suited.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mike.
Thank you for having me.